Good morning. I'm Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about an idea that could help you become a better trader, and that's using the 200 SMA and the pre-market, and even zooming out farther than that for support levels and resistance levels. So I'm going to be talking about the IWM. Yesterday, Friday, we had a real good trade on the IWM, and I was calling out resistance levels and support levels off the 200 SMA. And then also I'm going to show you how you can find a resistance level using pre-market idea. So this orange gold line right here is the 200 SMA on the 1 minute time frame. I'm using this quite often when I'm in any time frame to find support levels and resistance levels. And as you can see, we had opening pattern right here, which is called a falling wedge and an inverse head and shoulders. And I'm going to go ahead and drop them in there right now. Magnify this up a little bit. We had the sell off. Then you take your bodies and run them up. And we started forming what you would call a falling wedge. We also have an inverse head and shoulders. So this is the secret that I tell a lot of people. Let's go ahead and extend this to the left. We had the left shoulder touch here and the right shoulder. Then you got the head. Then you got the right shoulder and the second right shoulder. So you had the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right shoulder. Now I tell people to wait for that second right shoulder to hit. A lot of traders don't tell you that, and many get stuck on the pullback and think they need to exit the idea. It's just a confirmation that you could have the breakout right there. The squeeze will start right about in here. We had a tweezer bottom, and then we broke that resistance. The secret again is the second time it hits the right shoulder, as it did over here on the left. This is also a falling wedge. So both this inverse head and shoulders and a falling wedge is a bullish pattern. We broke out and we come up and we hit the 200 SMA for an exit idea. She pulls back again with four crows, tweezer bottom, and then you have a double bottom with a doji, and she run up and hit the 200 SMA. And then it came back down again. So here we've got a fallen wedge. It's all about chart patterns to look for the entry idea. We had a little fallen wedge with the lead out of three white soldiers. It came up and hit the 100 EMA and then kind of bounced back and pulled back again into another inverse head and shoulders. So you got a fallen wedge with an inverse left shoulder, and right shoulder, and it breaks out and hits the 200 for an exit idea. So all morning, that 200 became a resistance level on the IWM for an exit idea. The 200 really made me a lot of money in any time frame. I use it in any time frame to find my final resistance level or even a final support level if we were coming down. But as of this pattern right here, everything's bullish because that 200's up on top. So then we broke out what was resistance, the 200 SMA, now becomes support. The 200 SMA, this becomes a pivot point, which is an equilibrium between support level and resistance levels. And then we started breaking out, and people were in this trading saying, we're nearing the double top. Nobody could see the double top. So if you zoom out in pre-market morning, this is 5 day, 5 minute. We had that pre-market right in here. And then we had the day lows from the day before. There's your exit idea. You got a double top resistance to get out of that trade and to get as much as you can, because a double top is a bearish pattern. And then it pulled back pretty hard right into close. And then right into close, again, we had what you call another inverse head and shoulders. You got your left shoulder and your right shoulder. You have three black crows, which is an indicator to take this trade and run it back up and look for the bearish candles for the reversal. Then we had another three black crows, and this was getting close to end of the day, and it pulled on back, sold off a little bit more with a tweezer bottom, and boom, right into close. You could have took that trade. Now, I didn't take it. I was called it out, but I didn't take it. So that's one way of trying to find resistance levels, using that pre-market for a double top exit idea. And if you'd have done that, you would have probably got as much as and got out before it actually hit. It actually went over a little bit, so you were sure to get out of that as you approached that double top to get out of that trade and collect that cash. And it's easy to get out of your contracts while people are still trying to buy the stock. So that's basically how it's done. Use that in pre-market highs and lows and look for a pattern. You might find an ascending triangle in this mess, and that would become a resistance level or a support level if you were down below, or any kind of chart pattern. For example, we had a head and shoulders. So we're going to draw that price line straight across, and that became a resistance level. That shoulder line became a resistance level. And then the third time we broke it, which is kind of telling you in advance that we might have a bigger breakout to the double top. So you could have got out right here off this here fallen wedge in this inverse head and shoulders. You could have easily sold it on that inverted hammer as it's coming down. And it came back down in a way for your other scalp to take it off the 200. You know, have patience, wait for it. Don't try to rush into a trade and get stuck. Just wait for it to hit your strategy, and then boom, you can become a winner. My name is Washboardjim. I'm the founder of the Sneaky Snake Trading Strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And let's have a great week. I'm very bullish in this market. Dips are a buy, but we still have some volatility coming up if Iran doesn't accept the deal. So just be careful. I'm very bullish. I've been more bullish than I've ever been in the 22 years that I've been trading. And have a great day.